Welcome back to another episode of From My Perspective. Thank you again, guys, for joining us. I'm your boy Dion. While you guys are at it, please go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you have not subscribed. But you guys know I'm Dion, and I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Captain Hater. Q, how you doing?
Man, what to do what it is. You already know the Bastard Show. Boy, Mr. Bad, aka can't say your name up on this pod. Might not put you to mind. What's going on, Dion?
Hey, it's going pretty good. We got a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and get to it. We got to talk about what's going on this Saturday. It's Saturday night's main event, but it's not just any old Saturday night's main event. It's John Cena's last time is now Saturday night's main event. His last match ever. He says, now we all know how wrestling retirements go, but John Cena seems like a person that's going to stand on business. And he says that he won't put on the jorts again after this match. He said, anytime you see him on WWE programming, he'll be wearing a suit, which granted, anytime you see him outside of WWE, he's wearing a suit. So he says pretty much anytime you see him after Saturday, he'll be wearing a suit. But Saturday night's main event this Saturday in Washington, D.C., which is a weird place to have it, but nonetheless, at 8 p.m. Before we get into the match, we're not going to do our content point predictions. We're going to talk about the four matches. But before we get into it, I got to ask you, are you going to be watching live? You going to have some
Yeah.
tissue paper next to you?
Yeah. It's gonna be emotional. When you sent out the list of like the stuff we was talking about and I looked at it, I was like, damn, this really is it. Don't get me wrong. I think I feel like we're gonna see John Cena. It's gonna be like I think he's gonna be more of like an Undertaker role. He gonna come out, give you a pop, give somebody the AA, and go on about his day.
Yeah, in a suit. Imagine getting AA in a
Yeah,
suit.
you know what I'm saying? Or he might give you the five knuckle shuffle. You know what I mean? But I don't. So I feel like we'll still see him, but
Hmm.
obviously we're not gonna see him as much. Hell, we ain't seeing him that much now. But yeah, it set in today. Like, damn, bro, it's really it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm definitely watching that live for sure.
But shout out to John Cena. They said apparently it was supposed to be like just a straight John Cena tribute show. He told them, "No, I want some young people on the card," and Triple H obliged. So we got obviously four matches total, but we got three matches basically main roster versus NXT. We got Bailey versus Soruka, Obafemi versus Cody Rhodes, and then we got AJ Styles, Dragon Lee versus Yvonne Evans and Leon Slater. That will probably be the match of the night. I'm calling it now. But of those three matches, how you feeling about them? You like them? You think they should add in more? I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago. What we like to see. I don't think they listened to us this time around. Sometimes they do. This time they didn't. But how you feeling about these three matches?
I feel like they need a fifth match. And the only reason I say that is because if you're looking at the future and who's future main event players, it's two names that I feel like should be on there. That should be on there. It's three that could be. It's two that should be. I feel like one is Braun Breaker should have a match. I don't know against who, but Braun Breaker should have a match. The other name is I think Trick Williams should be on this card
Hmm.
because like we talked about before, Trick Williams he proved he could be a babyface. He could prove he could be a heel. He carried the NXT title and then also carried the TNA title. Y'all saw fit in him enough that he went into another promotion and carried their top title.
Hmm.
Trick Williams should be on this card somewhere. Who against who? I don't know. Obviously, he probably should. It could have been, John Cena, but obviously they wanted Gunther to be, the big bad wolf or whatever the case may be. Hell, it could have been Jay. It could have been Jimmy. It could have been, it could have been. I was going to say Kofi and Xavier are both heels. It could have been one of them. It could have been anybody.
Yeah.
Hell, you know what I'm saying? It could have been Dragunov.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Some
Yeah.
he got history with Juggernaut. Those matches would be good.
So I think Trick should have been on her. Braun Breaker definitely should have been on her because everybody says it. Braun Breaker, I guess my break is more so the now, the present, than the future.
Mhm.
So I guess I could see why they might not have put him on her. And of course, Carmelo keep getting. Everybody love Melo, but Melo ain't getting no attention.
Nah,
He get matches, but he ain't getting no pushes. So yeah, and I think they definitely should have added up. I think it's room for a fifth match.
yeah, I agree. Should have been a fifth match. Maybe there's this fifth match. Obviously, we're recording on a Thursday. Maybe they add one Friday. One thing I would love to see, and we saw it, I believe, the first Saturday Night's main event back what almost over a year now. I feel like if it was that long ago, but pretty much Cody Rhodes, he was lobbying to come out with the Wing Eagle title. He came out with the Wing Eagle title. That helped with that Kevin Owens feud. But I
Mm-hmm.
think it would be cool if Cody Rhodes came out with the spinner WWE title. I think he should do that. That would be dope. I would like to see that. But let's go ahead and just get into the match that everybody's talking about. Now, first off, there's been some rumors speculating that that's gonna open the show. Now, I'll be shocked and don't understand why they would have him open the show. But do you put any weight into that rumor?
What if he wants to open the show? What if John, like you said, John Cena didn't want the whole tribute show? Y'all making it 2 hours about me. What if he's like, no, give me my match. Let me open the show. Let me get the people what they came to see. And then I'm gonna get on, get out the way, and give it to the rest of the card.
Uh,
I I don't think that's a good idea because let's be real. Once John Cena go off that TV, how many people gonna cut that TV off?
yeah.
You need the build up to be to John Cena.
The only reason why I would let him do that is be like, all right, you gonna do that, but you coming right back out there as soon as that last match is over with. I need you to come out in your suit with your jorts and lay him in the middle of the ring. That's what I would tell him to do. I mean, obviously, I'll let him do what he wants, but that's how I feel like he should. If you gonna open the show, you coming back out there, give me your speech in your suit. You gonna have your jorts in hand, and you gonna lay them things in the mat and walk off into the sunset. But I don't know. It'd be odd if they do it opening, but we'll see. Obviously, we've been both like, we're not really not fan of it being Gunther, but it is what it is. It's Gunther. Ain't nothing we can do about it. We ain't got the booking pin. But since it is Gunther, there's some people saying, is John Cena gonna get this win? Last time I'll be shocked again because John Cena's been talking about giving back. Also, there's been another thing percolating around the Twitterverse, WWE Wrestling Universe. John Cena's is he gonna pass? Is he gonna lose by pin? Is he gonna lose by pass out? Is he gonna tap out? Obviously, John Cena's motto is never give up. People might say like maybe that be the way to go out is him quitting. Maybe a little odd, but I mean it could be poetic if depending on how they play the story in the match. How you think that should play? You think John should win? You think he should just lose by pin, pass out, or tap out? The story is the
So
way Gunther is. Gunther's story is he's trying to choke him out. That's the way
I,
it's like it.
I, I was gonna say I saw Gunther's highlight. I saw Gunther's promo, not highlight. I saw Gunther's promo, and Gunther was basically, I'm gonna what he say? I'm gonna beat you until there's no more hustlety, loyalty, and respect left in you.
Mhm.
Uh, that's a good question. So, in theory, it should be never give up. So he should just be passed out.
Mhm.
But then at some point he's gonna have to come to because
You gotta give that speech, bro.
he got. But I don't. It's John. I don't know if John Cena gonna give a speech. I don't think John Cena's giving a speech. I think John Cena's just gonna take the L, come to, look around, cry, and then go to the
If he
top and be like,
if he doesn't give a speech, he's definitely getting a standing ovation. The other wrestlers will probably come out to the stage. I'll see the fans is gonna give him a stand. If anything, he's gonna get a standing ovation.
but if you do that, you killing the. Let's be real. We all know it's predetermined. But if everybody come out to the top of the stage,
I mean, after the match, not
I know. I'm saying even then, it's kind of like you gotta let John Cena ride off to the sunset. It feel like because he did it with Goldberg and it didn't feel. It was like
they also cut Goldberg's speech a little short, which this will not be on NBC. This will be strictly Peacock. No, who knows if they still have if they got some freedom or if they still got a hard out. But if they got a hard out, they not cutting this John Cena speech.
I was gonna say I wouldn't think they would have a hard out for Peacock. I wouldn't think so. Do you say like why is it here? Why is it here basically? And I get like you said he got a history in Boston, but Peacock wants something for this money they spending on Saturday nights.
I mean, I don't have no issue. I have no issue with it being sat on a Saturday night's main event. They had to forego a lot of money to get this though. But my issue, my a little issue is why is it in Washington D.C. That's the only issue. Like
Mm.
could have had it somewhere else. But hell, it wasn't gonna happen. But you know how cool it would have been. Like John Cena has strong ties to Louisville, very strong ties. Considering OVW is based out of here. That's where the old performance center for WWE. He lived in Louisville a large portion of his early career. Um, he's been in interviews and talked highly about Louisville. I remember I saw an interview where he talked about one of his best times out at a strip club he had was in Louisville. If you haven't seen that clip, it's somewhere on YouTube. But he said he had a good time at a strip club in Louisville before. So I would have liked it to been a little, but I doubt that it would have happened. But Washington D.C. got it.
Yeah, but I understand why I understand why it wasn't Louisville. Because do you think I'm just gonna say this? You know, I love my city.
We're not a wrestling city, if that's what you ask.
You said what?
We're not a wrestling city, if that's what you're asking.
And you think we would be because, like you said, we got OVW. It
Yeah.
was basically going like, do you think Louisville would have fit the magnitude in the arena that Washington D.C. would fit? Would the feeling be the same? Do you think?
I mean, I think it wouldn't have mattered where. I think it would have been big. Honestly, he probably could have sold out on a stadium. Then they
For
would have to
sure.
put some more in the car, but they definitely probably could have sold out the stadium.
Yeah, for sure. You right. You right. I just was wondering, compare like in the arena setting, but you right. It is John Cena's final match. You right. So
They could have put this thing on the moon. They
yeah,
would Gucci.
yeah. Nah, you right. You right. You,
But yeah, John Cena's final match, final time, last time is now will be this Saturday. You know, I'm gonna have my tissue on the side. I might have a tear or two. I'll have to wipe that off pretty quickly. But I am looking forward to it. But
I ain't gonna wipe my ass off quickly. I'm gonna let hey man, them tear go dry and be like, damn, it's real.
obviously we talked about John Cena Gunther. I do need to ask you though. There's been some talks about if Oba should beat Cody before we go to the NBA Cup. You think Oba should beat Cody?
So I was thinking, it has to be. It's four matches, right?
Hmm.
The basically the old heads versus the new heads. The old heads have to lose at least two or three matches because
Hmm.
this is what John Cena will want because it's building towards the future, right? Cool. John Cena's losing. That's one. I think Bailey's losing.
Yeah.
I feel like Bailey's on the card to lose. No shade, but Bailey's the one. Like Sami Zayn, they can take L's and everybody still gonna love him.
Yeah, and that Sol Ruka, she got probably one of the dopest finishers out there. That finisher's at least getting hit once, maybe
Yeah,
twice.
it's real creative too, bro. Real. So then it was like in my head, it's like it's gotta be two or three. That's two right there. So what would the third one be? Do we is it AJ Lee and Dragon Lee? AJ Lee. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee? Or is it Obi? And I think it should be Cody taking the L and Obi should win.
Yeah, Oba definitely should win because he's if he doesn't win, it should be a situation where Cody escapes and
Hmm.
not
Or
so.
also I feel like you know, we John Cena, the time is now. The time is up. But AJ's going into his this time is now. Is
Yeah,
it time? I don't know if we should be just giving AJ Styles just random L's.
you right. You definitely right. We definitely shouldn't be giving them random L's.
AJ Styles should not. I love Javon Evans. You know what I'm saying? Leon doing your thing. I see you. WWE laying out the red carpet for you. They trying to get you from as soon as your TNA deal is up, my boy. You gonna be. But that being said, AJ Styles can't be taking random males.
Yeah, because
It's a random male.
he'll probably be done here soon. I mean, look, hey, a lot of these people looks like they winding down their careers. AJ Styles is winding down his career. There's some rumors out there that SummerSlam will be Brock Lesnar's last show. Hey, our childhood is gone. They
Yeah,
getting up out of there.
man. I was like, real quick side note. I was thinking about Rey Mysterio. I thinking about John Cena. It led me to Ray. It was like, damn. I wonder how much longer Ray got.
Shit, if he keep hitting them stem cells, he can go another 20 years.
I was
Cause
already sorry. And then Randy at some point.
yeah, it's crazy. But
So
hey, I know me and Q, we're looking forward to it. We'll be watching it live, and we'll obviously talk about what happens next week. But we're going to talk about also what's going to happen on a Saturday, and that's the semifinals of the NBA Cup. Now, honestly, man, I really don't care about the NBA Cup. I honestly don't. I don't care who wins. It ain't the NBA Finals. It don't matter to me. But shout out to the players for getting some extra money. But obviously, we got the New York Knicks versus the Orlando Magics, and the San Antonio Spurs versus the 24-1 OKC Thunder. My question for you, QOQ, honestly, I mean, I don't really care. I think OKC is probably gonna win this. I know I'm gonna try to watch the tail end of the Spurs Thunder game, but I'm asking you, is this the preview for each of the prospective conference finals?
Ooh, that's a great question. In the West, I feel so. If you ask me to pick the two between the two, I would feel like the West is more so the actual potential conference final. Just because simple fact in the East, I ain't for sure about nobody because
Mhm.
Toronto started out super high, but then they done cooled off. But that's because
Pistons is
also
number one.
I was going to say Pistons is number one. RJ Barrett got hurt for Toronto, so they cooled off. Orlando was hot, they cooled off. Miami Heat was hot, they cooled off. Cleveland is been cold, but you got to think they're the team that you would have between them and New York were the team you would have picked, and then Boston been on the run here lately, and then you don't know if Tatum's coming back.
Yeah.
So the East is two, I don't know. So if I had to pick, it would be the West, and Wimby's Wimby. He's a freak of nature, right? And they won their was it a quarter? It's how they call it the quarterfinal game. They played the Lakers to get into this game, and they beat them Lakers up without Wimby.
Beat the brakes off of them.
And it wasn't like LeBron had a good game. Luca had a solid. He had a good game. Austin Reeves.
The Lakers can't defend for nothing, bro.
They can't.
I could get on the court and put up 20 against the Lakers because they're not defending nobody.
Austin Reeves didn't. Austin Reeves I think had like 15 points. The reason the Lakers is gonna have a great regular season because they're gonna be able to put up points. But when it comes to the playoffs, they're not going to win in the playoffs because, in fact, like you just said, they play matador defense. Everybody gonna get by, G. You know what I mean? Uh, but Oklahoma City and the Spurs, they they have potential to be the two best. Well, sorry, the Spurs have the potential to be the second best team in the West because we already know what Oklahoma City is. The only question is Denver going to take that mantle or you know what I'm saying, which one would take that mantle? But yeah, nah, I think I would take that as the finals.
All right, so I mean, so are you going with OKC to win the NBA Cup?
Yeah, well, without question.
All right, so my next question before we move on, age old question. I'm usually always on the field side, but I'm gonna ask you. Is
Hell
it
no.
OKC or the field? And I'm talking Eastern Conference. I'm talking just to win the championship. You taking OKC or you taking the field? Usually I'm with the field, but I'm gonna have to slide to the OKC this time around.
I'm taking. Mm, if Boston was healthy and I knew Wemby was going to be healthy, I would take the field. But because those are both ifs, I'm taking OKC.
Mhm.
Because, like you said, you normally would take the field because, especially in this situation, it's 29 other teams. not really, because you know all of them make playoffs, but you get my drift. If with without those key injuries, I would take the field. You know what I mean? Because Boston, we know what Boston can do. Boston could. I feel like Boston could hang with OKC if they was healthy. They would have to make a move at center, but they. I feel like Boston can hang. Wemby is a freak of nature. Nobody can do nothing with him. And now they got the guard rotation working. De'Aaron Fox is still getting downhill. Stephon Castle's getting downhill. You know what I'm saying? Harper's back healthy, and he's balling. I feel like, they can hang with, they can put up some points too. But, yeah, I'm taking OKC.
Yeah. It's tough. We'll see though. When the playoffs come, if people are healthy, that's what it depends on if people are healthy. But we will find out. But let's go ahead and slide to the college football world, and we got a lot to talk about. But we're gonna slide. We're gonna start off with the most prestigious trophy in all of sports, and that's the Heisman Trophy. They have five finalists, and in order of the favorites to least favorite, you got Fernando Mendoza and Diego Pavia, Jeremiah Love, Julian Sand. Fernando Mendoza in insert sportsbook here is a minus 4,000 favorite to win the Heisman. Now, before we get into who we really think probably should win the Heisman, I want to point out something. I understand the Heisman, you got to give it out every year. But if there was a year that, maybe wanted to skip a year, this is the year because I just don't think nobody stood out. No, I saw a tweet. He's like, man, we used to give this award to superheroes. We used to give this award to freaks. It's just guys that got it. I know during the whole year we talked about it. This was supposed to be one hell of a quarterback NFL draft class. A lot of them quarterbacks were stink. There was no that guy this year in quarterback wise. And there was no Austin Genty. There was no Travis Hunter. There was nothing like that. Jeremiah Love, not only, he's a good player and he had a pretty good season, but nobody has really great stats this season. This is one of them. I guess we can get the Heisman to somebody. So I don't know. I believe it'll probably be. I mean, I'll probably rock with the odds of Fernando Mendoza. It's more so the quarterback on the best team type of thing. That's how I feel like it's going to work out. Diego Pavia, he's just a lightning rod. He's got that Johnny Manziel type of energy around him. I personally like Jeremiah Love. If his stats was better, I thought when I went to look at his stats compared to the other Heisman, I thought they was better than what they were. I can't give it to him. And Julian Sands, he's been kind of up. He didn't really have no big moment, and the chance he had to have a big moment was in the Big Ten championship game, and Fernando Mendoza took it from him. So, oh, that's just not. It's not a good Heisman year.
We normally have a Heisman moment, and that person solidifies their Heisman trophy. We have that every year. We didn't have that this year. Now, if you want to say, uh, who was Indiana playing that week, dude? But he threw the ball, caught the ball at the back of the end zone, and back in the.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I,
It might have been Penn State.
I was ready to say Penn State. Well, I think it was Penn State. It was
I
Penn
think it was
State.
Penn State.
If you want to call that the Heisman moment, okay, but that's really more so speaking on the receiver.
Yeah.
Um, hell, what's the linebacker out of Texas Tech? He
He was
put
he was he was great at the best play, like PFF or whatever one of them things. He was great, like the best player.
he should at least been a finalist.
Yeah, he should have been there.
He should have been there, but yeah, you can't. I don't feel like I could differentiate between the two quarterbacks. So it's kind of like, all right, I'm gonna go with the one on the best team.
Yeah, I mean I feel like that's what they do. I feel like that's what the voters did. No, it's tough, man. It just doesn't feel like a Heisman year. Obviously, there was a lot of debate. You had two. Like this is a year like, man, asking you might want to come back and get a Heisman or something, want this Heisman. That's what they probably would have been nice to do, give it to Ashton Genty. I know you in the NFL, but hey, we ain't got nobody to give it to this year.
We should have gave it to you. We possibly should have gave it to you last year, so you come on back and get it. But yeah, dog, like what's his name? At Ohio State, it's Julian. Ohio
Julian
State's quarterback.
Fields.
He just there because his team only lost one. They only lost one game.
Yeah, and like with that big, potentially that Big Ten championship game was probably for the Heisman. It seems like that was a not only for the number one overall seed in the college football playoffs, but seemed like it was for the Heisman as well.
And Jeremiah Love is there just so they can have somebody else that's not a quarterback.
Yeah, and like
No
I
shade.
thought he had a good chance, but I looked at the numbers like I mean they not that great. They not Heisman winning great, and like no Heisman moment. So I don't know if there was a year where you didn't have to give out the Heisman. Maybe I don't know if they're ever considered as a maybe some years we just don't give it to anybody. But
They always gonna give that thing out. There's too much money in it.
they will be. That's another thing that will be announced on Saturday. There's a lot of things happening on Saturday. We'll see who wins it. But it'll probably be Fernando Mendoza. I'm assuming you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
have
it's
him.
Mendoza. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Like I said, it comes down between him and Pavia. I hope I said that right. And he got his team's undefeated.
yeah. And in the end, the number one seed in the college football playoffs. And speaking of the college football playoffs, obviously they it's set. We know who's playing who. It was a big controversy of who was gonna get the. It was two spots and it was three teams vying for those two spots. It was between Alabama, Notre Dame, and Miami. And it went to Alabama and Notre Dame. Indiana, they got the number one seed. Ohio State, they are the number two seed. And we have two group of five conference champions in it. I like having a group of five conference champions in it. I like it. I would like to see an upset. Is it likely that they're going to upset Oregon or Ole Miss? No. But I'm hoping. A man can dream.
Mm-hmm.
But before we talk about who we think is possibly going to win this whole thing, win this tournament, we got to talk about Notre Dame being left out. And before I give it off to you, Q, I agree with what the committee did in this last ranking. Now, me personally, no, the Captain Hater probably rubbing off on me a little bit. I was hoping that Alabama didn't get put in, but I'm semi okay with it. They probably should have dropped them down to 10 instead of keeping them at 9. That's neither here nor there. But the committee got it right. Where the committee messed up at is the other rankings before this last one.
Mm-hmm.
They had Notre Dame ahead of Miami all these weeks, even though their resume was pretty much the same. But the one thing that was different is they had a head-to-head matchup and Miami won. And what's even more egregious is the rankings before the final ones that came out last Tuesday. They still had Notre Dame ahead of Miami. Notre Dame nor Miami played this week, last weekend, and they really didn't have any common opponents that played last weekend as well. Even though neither of them played, for some reason the committee decided, oh, it's time to flip them. And Miami threw a hissy fit. The AD is going scorch earth.
Notre
He's
Dame. Notre Dame's AD through a
Yeah, my now I said Notre Dame AD is going scorch over. He's pissed at the ACC commissioner because the ACC they was riding for Miami because they knew when Duke won, shit, Miami's all they got. So they was riding for Miami to get in, which they did. But Notre Dame is upset. They should be upset at the committee for messing it up because the committee basically told them one thing for 6 weeks in a row, just for them to be like, "Oh, never mind, we gonna put Miami in front of you." So I agree with what the committee did, but they did mess up the first five or six rankings, and I wouldn't be surprised if they stopped doing those weekly rankings and then wait to only do one at the end. But what's your thoughts, Miami? Uh, Throwing a hissy fit and not making it.
Uh, First, they never gonna stop doing them rankings because it's money.
Yeah.
Like, come on, ESPN making paper off them rankings every week because people be tuned in, sitting by their seats, waiting for those rankings. They never gonna stop doing them rankings because it's for ESPN. It's easy money. But that's when they broadcasting partners. We're gonna take care of our broadcasting partner. That's easy money. Uh, Notre Dame throwing a hissy fit. So I get Notre Dame's point.
Yeah, I do too.
I get their point. They have every right to be upset, and he should do a lot of talking. Now, him attacking the ACC to me is kind of like, bro, what are you doing? Because of the fact currently you're in the basketball season. Your team is playing in this conference. You play in
And
this
you
conference for
and you gotta
everything,
and you gotta deal with the ACC too.
and your deal ain't up. I think what 2030. I guess when that deal's up, I might be wrong, but you're a member of the ACC for every aspect of it but football. Cool. What do you want them to do? If you get in, it ain't like you gonna split the 4 million because the 4 million goes to the conference if
And they split it through teams.
they split it through the teams. Are you gonna at least if you gonna give the ACC 2 million of that?
They taking it all like they did last year.
You taking all $4 million. So what do you expect the ACC to do? They got to take care of everybody else in this league that you're also in the league with. Damn. So Notre Dame. It's just me, and this is the thing I've been thinking about the entire week. Was Notre Dame? You don't want to join the conference. You don't want to be in the Big Ten. You don't want to be in the ACC because you know what I'm saying. All these different reasons, but you play Army and Navy every year. You play Stanford every year.
USC.
You play USC every year. Because I think Army and Navy might not be every year, but it's often.
They play.
It,
I know it's more so. It's one of
I think
them.
it's Army they
Or
play.
one of them. They play one of them pretty much every year.
Yeah, but it's like okay, cool. Then, like I said, you play Stanford every year. The reason Stanford and Cal, mainly Stanford, is even in the ACC is because Notre Dame. I keep saying Notre Dame flexed their power and put Stanford and Cal in. So you flexed your power, went to the ACC and said, "Hey, we can't just leave them two stranded somewhere." And the ACC was like, "All right, you be looking out for us. All right, y'all two come on over here." Cool. Why ain't Notre Dame? Notre Dame could just start their own conference.
Mm-hmm.
You could have just did because let's be real, you don't get the money regardless, and you could have just put Army, Navy, Stanford, Cal, went to USC and been like, hey, or went to NBC and be like, if I get USC, you gonna give them the same money that the Big Ten giving them, and then just added somebody else. You know what I mean? Or y'all could have went and got Oregon State, Washington State. Y'all could have saved the Pac-12 if y'all wanted to. Y'all could have did something. You know what I mean? So then that way you could go to the college football playoffs and say, "Hey, I'm in a conference." You could have created an 18 conference at this point if that's all y'all wanted to do,
Yeah.
because that way you can still because you want the flexibility to schedule who you want when you want.
They schedule be weak too, boy. That's a nasty schedule.
If you put USC and Stanford in your conference, that's two of your conference games. And then, like I said, they play either Army or Navy down there every year. Boom, that's right there as well. That's just me. Hell, it could have been Air Force. As
Yeah.
far as I know, shit.
So yeah, I get why Notre Dame is upset because I would be too. You tell me one thing for 6 weeks in a row, and then the last week nothing changed. The resume is still the same as it was before, and then you decide to switch it up. I would be upset too. But you gotta like Notre Dame. You kind of gotta understand we did lose to them on the field head to head. They got a
Looking
point.
at it, that was September. Why are we talking about something that happened months ago?
Good point. Good point. But one more thing with Notre Dame, they opted out of the bowl. They looked like they was going to get picked to go to the Pop Tart Bowl against BYU, the other team that just missed the cut. Would have been big, but they opted out. I'm not sure if it was a player decision, coach decision, or AD decision. Seemed like it was a seeming like it was a AD. I mean, a player's decision from what they said, but who knows? How you feel about them opting out?
So I was listening to what was it Bomani, and he said like it was in the '70s. If they weren't playing for the national championship, they didn't go to the bowl games. So this ain't really new territory for Notre Dame. This is what they do. If it ain't for the gusto, they ain't going. Do I guess in this because like we always talk about the the college football schedule. A lot of them players is probably already gone and dispersed or whatnot the case may be, and you trying to get them back on campus or whatever to get geared up for a Pop Tart ball, and they thinking they was going to the national championship, they was going to be able to play for a championship. I think it probably was a little bit hard. And it wasn't like it was just Notre Dame. Hell, it was a bunch of teams that opted out of playing in bowl games. Hell, he got so bad Florida State was even being asked to play in a playoff game, and they even was telling them no.
Yeah,
Um, I think Notre Dame should have played.
it would have been nice.
No, I think Notre Dame should have played because, in fact, now y'all showing that the rest of these bowl games don't mean nothing. And everybody's going to start opting out. But then that's going to start causing a bunch of problems. Like this year, they had to go through 7, 8 teams till they found one more opponent for Georgia State, and it's Appalachian State, a conference member that they already played this year that's under 500.
Mhm. There's a struggle out there.
Yeah. So another thing is ESPN got all these bowl games, so of course they want to, you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Notre Dame should have played.
Would have been nice, but obviously they're not playing for the gusto. But let's talk about the teams that are playing for the gusto. Who you got? Who you think you gonna win? Indiana, they the undefeated team. Do you think you giving shit, which is crazy to think about, bro? Kirk Cinetti, he need a statue outside of Assembly Hall today, just for what he did in such a short time. But you think Indiana got a chance? Who you like? You like Georgia? You like Ohio State, Texas Tech? Well, who you liking?
Yeah, you making me pick the finals before we even got through these dang old quarterfinals.
Well, okay. How you feeling about the
Oh,
first round? Let's go ahead. Let's take it one round at a time. How you feeling about the first round?
I feel like this first round should be played. It should be being played Saturday. That's what I feel like. But it ain't gonna be being played for what another week on top of this.
Next week, they don't Friday and Saturday of next week, December 19th and December 20th.
Those games should be being played right now. Um, I also think I would have preferred Tulane and James Madison playing each other, so at least we know one of them will got a chance to move on.
Yeah, would have been
Yeah.
nice.
So now,
I'm assuming you don't give James Madison or Tulane any chance. Keep both of these teams. They're being coached by a coach that won't be there next season, but you
that's
don't
why
give them any chance to move on.
I don't give neither one of them a chance.
So I think both of them is like it's like 20 and a 17 point. I think Oregon's a 20-point favorite. I think Ole Miss is like a 17-point favorite
Mm-hmm.
in your insert sports book here. Do you think either one of them teams can at least cover?
Yeah, I think James Madison. Mm.
I I think Tulane has
Tulane's gonna be the one to
better
come.
chance to cover because they did play earlier this year, and who knows where the mental is for Ole Miss after what they went through.
Yeah, especially because most of the offensive staff is not most. I think all of is going to be going with Lane Kiffin to LSU. So yeah, Tulane probably got the better chance to cover because Oregon's coach Dan Lannon, he might get petty and be like, you know what, I'm gonna put 60 on y'all.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, But I let me say this real quick. I don't think Oklahoma should have been in the playoff. You said it last week, and in my head, I was like, man, Oklahoma shouldn't be in the playoff.
They snuck in there. They one of them teams that they took an early loss and they benefited for taking an early loss and not
But
a late loss.
the reason being is this is me is the reason I ain't think Oklahoma should be in is because in fact you got to put Alabama in because you can't make Alabama suffer because they played in the conference championship game. So somebody has to go out. Somebody in the SEC got to go out. That's how I was looking at it, and I just felt like Oklahoma of the teams in there was the odd man out. Alabama shouldn't get penalized for playing in the conference championship game because if you did that, then you was gonna prove that they do not matter. So
Yeah.
to me, the odd man out should have been Oklahoma.
Yeah, and like they Oklahoma they did have a big win against Alabama. It's gonna be a rematch. To me, Oklahoma was like my first 4 week national champion. They just look good. I had John Mateer. He was my first of the month Heisman. Then he got hurt, and he has not been the same since he messed up that thumb. Obviously, they did get that victory against Alabama, but I don't know. I think Alabama might get them this time around.
Yeah, I'm picking Alabama, and
Yeah.
then I'm actually gonna pick Miami too.
Really, I again, Mars. I think Marcel Reed, he was the if you had beat Texas, you probably would be in New York right now. So he kind of messed that up.
Yeah,
I like that, but it's in it's at the 12th man. That's tough. Miami, they've been so up and down. For me, I might go with Texas A&M for that one.
I understand why. Yeah, yeah. But I think Miami's trying to prove a point.
Yeah, they need to. They low-key need to win because they get if they get blown out, boy, them tweets is gonna get ugly. But next round, Texas Tech, they the fourth seed. Indiana is the first seed. Georgia the third seed. Ohio State second seed. You see any of these guys? You see any, some or all of them making it to the semifinals?
Yeah, all four of them should.
Okay.
You would assume out. It depends on what Alabama show up to.
Yeah.
Hell, it should depend on what Miami show up. It Texas A&M, you know what I mean? So yeah, nah, it's gonna be an interesting playoff once you get past this round.
Yeah. And with that being said, if that does play true, we'll have some two newcomers. Texas Tech, I mean, they're in Texas, obviously football is king in Texas, but they were usually not here. But them boosters, they paid up. And look
That
what
money,
happens when you pay up. You get some good players and now you are four seed. Indiana, like again, Kirsten, he needs a statue outside of Assembly Hall today. So those two newcomers and then the same old Georgia and Ohio State. You see a new coming champion, or you see Georgia or Ohio State with the status quo winning it all
to be determined.
to be determined.
Yeah, because
I would,
I got to see how they play out. I
I
got
would like I would like to see some newcomers, even though I know not big fans of Indiana, especially after they cancel their games against Louisville. I would not
hell.
mind seeing Indiana winning it all, Indiana or Texas Tech. That's who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Indiana and Texas Tech to win it all. I would love to see a James Madison or a Tulane upset. By the way, Paul Feinbaum and a lot of you guys, y'all been talking a lot of trash about these group of five teams. Understandably, they're not, for the most part, they're not on the same level. But y'all talking about like they don't even deserve to be in the playoffs. You can't do that. You got to give them a seat at the table. It's obviously the way the rules were set up, they are probably going to change it. But the way the rules were set up, the ACC had some weird tiebreakers, and Duke ended up in the championship game, and Duke ended up winning the championship, giving ACC's champion not in it. That's probably not going to happen again. They're probably going to even change the rules, and we probably will never have two group of five teams in the playoffs. Who knows? They're supposed to move it to 16 anyways, but you got to put the group of five teams. And me personally, one group of five upsetting a Power Five team every 10 years is worth it to me, putting them in. Because whenever that happens, it's going to be so big, and people are going to wonder if they're going to have a chance to win it all. So I don't care, Paul Fonbon, if you upset. I don't care if you like, man, they're going to be a blowout. I hope both teams cover. I pray both teams cover. I don't want a situation where they're getting blown out and people tweeting that they shouldn't be in there anyways. But y'all got to stop that. They don't belong in at the table. Y'all need to stop all that.
They only do, it's crazy. In basketball, we love the Cinderella, but in football, we don't want them to be in there at all because it's 12 teams. Uh, Last time I checked, those conferences also play FBS as well.
Hmm.
They're on the same level. They deserve to be there. You know what would help this matter? If all these conferences was normal sizes, and then we could just have conference winners play in this.
Yeah,
But I mean, what do I know?
yeah, money matters. But let's go ahead and move on. And before we get to the bad news, or not the bad news, but the not so great news, we talked. We scolded Penn State heavily, but they got a coach. They got Iowa State's former coach Matt Campbell. I wasn't too much familiar with his resume, but one thing I did know, Iowa State was a respectable team every year. They not going probably they gonna win about 8 games. They're gonna be about 8-4 every year. They'll probably upset a team or two, but they not gonna do too much. They might end up like in the top in 20 to 25 ranks if that. They was respectable, but I didn't realize Iowa State was that garbage before Matt Campbell got there. So shout out to Matt Campbell for turning around Iowa State. But now you had a pressure cooker because Penn State ain't gonna take 8 wins. They don't want no 8 wins. They want 10, 11 wins, and they want national championships. That's what they want. But shout out to Matt Campbell. He got a job. I wasn't too much familiar with his game until I looked at his resume and heard about how he transferred from Iowa State. But this was a good hire. A light hire, but a good hire.
Penn State better be happy with 8 wins.
Yeah.
I'm just like I ain't trying to be mean. Y'all not.
Next season they better be because
I
again,
don't even
because
think.
it's a late hire.
I don't even think it's just then. I don't. Uh, no shade. It's gonna be like a shot at you. Nothing personal. Just saying this. Penn State ain't been a national champion contender for decades. Reminds me of them Cowboys.
Damn.
We Super Bowl or bust. Y'all ain't won a Super Bowl in decades. Like at some point we gotta people be like Tennessee sucks. We are who we are. You gotta be comfortable with be comfortable in your own skin. Penn State think they Ohio State. And some years y'all going to be on that level, but it's also going y'all gonna have some 8-4 years too. But I think it's a like you said, it is a good hire. It's a solid hire. This y'all not gonna be bad under him.
No.
Y'all not gonna be bad. Y'all not gonna go 4-8. Y'all not gonna have a year like y'all had this year. I think that's fair to say.
Yep. So again, congratulations to him. But there was another uh head coaching vacancy, and we gotta talk about it. Michigan's head coaching vacancy has opened up. The Michigan Wolverines fired Sharon Moore yesterday with cause. There's a lot of details into it before we get to the nasty personal details. We got to get to Michigan. So apparently, obviously, there was some them issues with Sharon Moore messing with a staffer, but reading some stuff. For one thing, it sounds like Michigan, they really wasn't sold on Sharon Moore anyways. They
Uh-huh.
was just like, hey, you got the job. They wasn't a big fan of having him, but they wasn't gonna fire him because he they was winning a little bit. It wasn't like they was garbage, but again, they wasn't a big fan of him, and that was evident. But uh, also, apparently, the Michigan athletic department, they knew about this for a while, and they purposely waited to after National Signing Day, which kind of a slime ball move, but I understand why you did it move.
Business is
So
business.
yeah, so they waited to after National Signing Day to do it because apparently they knew about this in November. There was a letter given to the athletic department about it going on in November, and they just waited. So to Sharon Moore, apparently, he had a staffer he was having sexual relations with. He's a married man with multiple kids, and it wasn't his wife that was the staffer. And obviously, it's inappropriate. You shouldn't be doing that as you are her subordinate. And then it got even nastier because apparently, it seemed like Sharon Moore, in the young people's terms, crashed out
Mm-hmm.
and ended up getting arrested afterwards. But it's sad because Sharon Moore is a black man, and it's unfortunate because this has happened multiple times with black men. This is the second time it's happened in Michigan, and happened something similar happened with Mel Tucker.
Yep.
I just hope he gets back on his feet some way, shape, or form. Also, I mean, if you think about it, man, I saw a list of white coaches that this has happened to, and all of them they got second chances. So I hope Sharon Moore gets a second chance. But what are your thoughts on this whole situation of Sharon Moore getting fired for cause? So if you don't know, cause means usually these coaches when they get fired, they get this nice little buyout. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
you don't pay me. Apparently, Sharon Moore's buyout was about 16 million, but since it's with cause, he's not gonna
Dang it.
get it unless he maybe sues them. But I don't know how much of a case he'll have.
It's so many. It's so much going on here that I don't want to say too much. the how do I word this? Sometimes power will go to people's head, and they don't know how to handle it. And like you said, especially like coming off the Mel Tucker, you would hope that he would have made better decisions. Now, I I think it is disgusting that Michigan waited to after National Signing Day to do this. I think that you played these kids. You know what I mean? You played these kids for the gain of yourself. I feel like it's gonna be some more details because one, how did this get out? Two, why did this get out? I feel like all of that's gonna come to light at some point. But the thing I want to say is when you get some power, don't abuse your power.
Mhm.
When you get some clout, or you know what I'm saying, when you get yourself in a position, up a higher position, don't ever get too big headed that you know what I'm saying you lose sight of what helped get you here.
And
That's all.
before you could, and again, Sharon Moore, you had to know that they really didn't want you. You was just, hey, you, they was calling you a bridge coach, the guy to get you to the next. You had to be on your best behavior. You knew as soon as they saw a slip in production on the field, you was probably out of there. You had to be on your best behavior. And the fact that he wasn't, he did okay on the field wise. They went 8-4. That's not horrible. You not for the most part, you're not getting fired for 8-4. Maybe like an Alabama or something. Or if he continued to go 8-4, he made it. But it was his second year. You're not getting fired for 8-4. You had to be on your best behavior. So
You you mm, I ain't trying to go too heavy. I ain't trying to go too heavy. Look, like I said, like I told you pre-pod, if this was hold up, I probably would get busy. But chill.
but but again, coaching vacancy, they waited after National Signing Day. I don't know who they gonna get, who they could get. There's been some rumors out there of Kellen DeBoer. Now, maybe Kellen DeBoer is tired of the nonsense Alabama's been giving them because they've been giving them some nonsense. They was ready to fire him after the Florida, well, the fans was ready to fire him after the Florida State loss earlier this season. Maybe, go to a less pressure cooker. I heard that. Obviously, I heard Jeff Brom's name floated around. They said he should get a call. Um, I heard, they get all the good coordinators are gone. Only best one out there is Georgia's defensive coordinator. Maybe he wants it. I don't know who Michigan can get. I hope they have an idea. I mean, I would hope you do if you knew back in November that you was probably going to do this.
Jed Fish out of Washington. That's the name that I've been hearing the most. It might take that job, and then somebody said Duke's coach, but I don't see why would you.
Many Diaz, no.
Yeah, why would you
No,
bring him with?
he was at Miami. He wasn't successful. Nah,
And he's what 7-5 at Duke.
yeah.
I mean, I get it. He just won an ACC championship. Like I get it. They
He,
won.
he slipped on a banana peel on that one. He
So
they barely. I don't know how they got the tiebreaker, but he slipped on the banana peel and got that.
what if Jim Harbaugh went?
You mean
No,
Baltimore's old
no,
coach?
no.
I mean
What?
Baltimore's coach?
No. Is that Jim? I thought Jim was the one.
I don't. I'll be getting them mixed up.
Oh, if what if Jim is the one that left? What if he went back?
He's not going back. He has a show. He
Show
has a
call. He
show.
got a show cause. But I'm
He's
saying,
not
what
going
if
back.
he did go back? What?
I don't think he can.
He can't, can he?
I don't
It
think
would be funny if he could, but what if his brother took it? Hell, I want the comic relief. You know what I'm saying? If he can't go back, send his brother. But
that'd be
you're right.
interesting.
You're right. He can't go back. Oh, he can't go back and coach in college at all.
No, and like he's right now. I think he can't go. I mean, he's like 61. I think he can't go back until like 2036 or something ridiculous. Like
Yeah. Yeah, no, so yeah, no. But what if his brother went? That would be funny to me.
that would be much watch. But the funniest one I heard was Urban Meyer. That's not happening.
I don't think Urban would. I think Urban. It would be funny. It would be funny to me, but yeah, nah. But yeah, nah. The one I'm hearing the most is Jed from Washington. That's
Yeah.
the person I'm hearing the most about that potential job.
But yeah, again, I know I hate that it happened to another black man. I hate a situation like that happen. But hopefully he gets on his feet. Hopefully he learns from his mistakes. Because right now, hey, it's probably you probably can't get much lower than he is right now. Hopefully he learns from this and gets back on his feet. Like I said, there's been a lot of white coaches that's gotten second chances after something like this happened. Two of them was coached right here in Louisville. So
Hey,
hopefully,
Ed Orgeron, but see, Ed Orgeron, he got in trouble. He actually got fired, and he ain't had a job since.
hey, at least
Now,
they didn't even fire him for cause though. They
yeah,
say,
they just got rid of him because he was in her wow. Yeah,
but hey, some of these coaches y'all need to chill out. But let's go to the NFL. We got obviously we're gonna do our pickings, but there's one specific thing we need to talk about. We talked about this man, I think last week. He is on the semifinal list for the NFL Hall of Fame. Probably next week he's probably gonna get taken off that semifinal list, not because he's gonna get voted in or not because he's gonna get voted out, but it's because he's gonna be ineligible because you have to wait 5 years since the last time you was an active NFL player. Because now he's on the practice squad. But the Indianapolis Colts, they have they they went bottle bird fishing because ever since they made that trade for Sauce Gardner and pushed all their chips in, it went downhill. Jonathan Taylor, there ain't no hoes for Jonathan Taylor anymore. Sauce Gardner got hurt, and then Daniel Jones tore his Achilles. So they called up a grandfather in Phillip Rivers because they don't trust because Riley Leonard is hurt. Anthony Richardson has an orbital fracture that was 6 weeks ago, so he should be healed now. But I'm no doctor, but they probably don't trust him enough to put him on the field. So they went and called a grandpa and Phillip Rivers, which is crazy. I saw Cam Newton on his podcast. He was like, "Damn, I felt like a little slap in the face. Y'all couldn't call me." Also, I know there was one practice squad quarterback, Sam Ellinger, I believe he plays for Denver. They said they called him. He was like, "Nah, I'm gonna stick here." But if you a practice squad quarterback, that's a slap in the face of you too. Like, damn, I would have took it.
damn. Wait a minute, I didn't know they called him. He said, "Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna stay where I'm at."
Yeah, he said he's good. He said he want to stay with Denver.
Hmm, interesting. Okay. Can I? What if Joe? I feel like Joe Flacco should have asked for a release, and he could have been the coach.
Yeah, Russell Wilson could have asked for a release and went there too.
You could have got either one of them. You went to Phillip Rivers.
I mean, they probably couldn't have got him, but I see what you mean.
If they put it in Joe Flacco's ear, hey, you know what I'm saying? You see what's going on over here. If you ask for your release, which like he didn't click with Cleveland, I think was it a
They,
release?
they traded, they
They
traded.
traded him, but you know what I'm saying? He wanted to get out. They got him out. Cincinnati would have did the same thing. More than likely, because Joe Burrow's back and Joe Burrow's looking good like he always do. So Joe Flacco could have went over there, like you said. Russell could have went over there. Hell, they could have put the little birdies out, like, hey, I want to release such and such. We're gonna get them. We'll trade y'all contentious pick or however you said the word later on this year. But them signing Phillip Rivers, I honestly think it's just I don't know if he's actually gonna play. I really think he's just gonna unless
You don't sign him in unless you're gonna play. If you
no,
don't, if you feel
he
a Rivers, you don't get off this couch unless there's a chance you play.
no, I'm your third string quarterback. Y'all practice squad quarterback. He goes up to the main, and then what's his name?
Riley Leonard. Let's
I know he got like a hamstring situation, but more than likely, I'm thinking he's leaning towards playing. I could be wrong. So I'm just here as a just in case. I'm gonna break glass. I'm gonna get this little money here, come out here, help y'all with the practice squad. Because the head coach, I think, used to be his quarterbacks coach in San Diego or his offensive coordinator, some
Yeah,
one of
so
them.
they run he and Phillip Rivers runs the same offense when he's coaching his high school team.
Philip Rivers used to play in Indianapols too, so
Mhm.
it just makes sense. Hey, it's like I'm calling my homeboy. Hey, Dion, can you help me move his couch real quick? You know what I'm saying? Hey, Dion, look, you know the playbook. I know the playbook. I got these other two, but just in case, you know what I'm saying, one of them get hurt Sunday or both of them get hurt, can you just be ready to throw a couple passes? Yeah, man, I slide up her. Both of them ain't gonna get hurt. I slide up her, get a little paycheck. I gotta get something for the grandbaby. It's Christmas time. That's all this was. I don't really think he's going to play.
I think he is. I don't think you sign him unless you think he's really gonna play.
I think you signed him for emergency purposes only. A 44-year-old quarterback who ain't played since 2020. Nah, I'm not signing you to play football.
Like I said, if I'm a quarterback on any practice squad, I'm like, dang. I'm looking at myself in the mirror like they don't want me. I could have went up there and handed the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. Because that's all the quarterback gonna do is hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor.
He ain't gonna get to go nowhere because ain't no room.
Yeah, yeah, he about to see 8-9 for the rest of the season. Eight,
That box gonna be loaded like a baked potato. You hear me? I'm
don't,
telling you, I ain't gonna have nowhere, no crevices.
nope. But yeah, Phillip Rivers, man. So it's kind of crazy. Like I said, the Indianapolis Colts they pushed all their chips in, traded 2 first-round picks with Sauce Gardner, which I still think is a crazy amount. But they season basically went downhill after that. Like I said it. I'm thinking, oh, they look like they could be potential. I said AFC Championship contenders. They don't even look like that no more, man. Like the season went from all right, AFC Championship a bust. Now it's like, can we make it out the first round? Can we make it out wild card week? I don't know if they can like I don't know. So I mean, I give you credit though. You was like, man, the Colts ain't like that. Daniel Jones is gonna mess up. I'm over like, hey, they look legit. Jonathan Taylor gonna be offensive player of the year. He might get some MVP talks. He gonna get the Madden cover next season. He's about to have a Saquon Barkley season, and they made that trade and the door is shut. It's kind
You
of
took
crazy how fast things work in the NFL sometimes.
you took the words out of my mouth before I could say them. Yeah, I told you this was gonna happen with Deal. I told you, but you took the words out of my mouth before I could even get them out.
But But yeah, but it might be done deals for the Colts. They might need to go ahead and pack it up, get ready for next season. Dan Jones is still gonna get paid. If Kirk Cousins get paid after the Achilles injury, Dan Jones is a much younger man. He gonna get paid. He might lose about 2-3 million. He's still gonna get paid though.
I was going to say the only difference is he relies on the athleticism. That's what made him look so good. Kirk just in the back slinging the ball. So, but like you said, he's still gonna get paid. He gonna lose a little bit, but yeah, he's still gonna get paid.
Well, let's go ahead and hit these NFL pick'ems. We are closing in towards the end of the season, and we gotta talk about how the NFL is trying to mollywop Christmas Day for NBA because I don't even know who the NBA got playing for Christmas Day, but I know who the NFL got playing. Crazy.
Yeah, don't get me angry, bro. We trying to close the pod. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start hating in a minute. Let me go. Just do the pickles. Bills versus Patriots.
I got the Bills. The Bills is on the mission. I don't believe in the Patriots fully. I don't believe in them yet.
I'm gonna go with the Pats just because it's at home.
Also, I'm gonna go before we slide to the next. Josh Allen, bro, this is your chance. Don't look like Lamar gonna make it. Don't look like Joe Burrow's gonna make it. And it don't look like Patrick Mahomes is gonna make it. Yo, three biggest enemies, yo, three biggest ops. Don't look like you're gonna have to see them. If you
It's your
don't
year.
do it this season, I don't know, dog.
You right. This your year. This is your year. I'm still going with the Pats though. All right. Lions versus Rams.
I got the Rams. I got spoiler. I got the Rams going to the Super Bowl.
I can see it. I'm going with the Lions because the Lions need to get back on. They need to. get back in playoff mode. All right, Titans versus 49ers. I just want to point out my Titans won last week.
Oh man. 49ers. The 49ers have been quietly good. It's odd.
That's because Purdy got hurt, but they still won under Mac Jones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We already know what I'm going to do as far as that goes. Vikings versus Cowboys.
Oh, the Cowboys, man. We are going to make the playoffs. I hope. I hope.
All right,
I need the Raiders to do me a favor.
I'm going with the boys as well. All right, and then last one, Monday night, Dolphins versus Steelers. Dolphins has the same record as Kansas City. I just want to point that out.
So, question for you before I give you my pick. Do you keep Mike McDaniels?
You got to, especially if they win like one or two more games. I feel like, but then you gonna bring in a new GM. That GM, it depend. They gonna fire him next year.
Yeah.
If they gonna give him 6 games, well, they probably give him to the bye. If he's having a rough season bad in, they gonna fire him because the new GM's gonna want his guy. But at this point, I feel like you gotta bring McDaniels back because especially if they continue to win and they get over 500 after the injuries and everything that went on, I feel like you got to.
Yeah. But I got the Steelers in this one though.
Yeah, I'm going Steelers as well. Because I think Tomlin is gonna get, you know what I'm saying?
But
He gonna
he gonna
make
get
sure
over 500.
his team get to the 500 over 500, and this is gonna be the game to do it. Also, by the way, I'm up at one
No, no
because
doubt.
only thing I got wrong last week was the Eagles.
Uh, Before we close it out, some just quick little thing. Dodgers, y'all signed Dodgers, bro. Do y'all want a lockout to happen? Y'all signed Nate Diaz, one of the
Mm-hmm.
top relievers in the game. Do y'all want to buy out? Cause y'all gonna be the reason. I'm not. I said buy it. Y'all want to lock out? Y'all gonna be the reason. Y'all get, come on, Dodgers. Y'all don't need to be. That's the greed that God was talking about in the Bible. Just greedy. Just greedy. Y'all the reason y'all gonna be the reason why there's a salary cap. I'm just saying y'all gonna mess it up for everybody. I understand y'all trying to be good. I understand. But y'all gonna mess it up for everybody. Bryce Harper gonna be hot when that salary cap hit, he gonna be hot. But
Mm-hmm.
that'll do it for another episode of From My Perspective. I'm your boy Dion. Please like, please subscribe. Leave a comment in the section. Leave a comment in the comment section. Please tell us who you think will be the 2026 college football national champion. Do you think it's going to be one of the newcomers, Texas Tech, Indiana, or you think it's going to be just the status quo, Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, or whatever? Who you think is going to win it? Thank you again. Again, please like, please subscribe. I'm your boy Dion. Captain Hater, go ahead, take us home.
Man, you already know the best. It's your boy, Mr. Bell, aka say your name upon this pod. Might not with you tomorrow. We're gonna catch y'all on the next one. Later.